So how's it going, guys? This is Rio Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. So I'm kind of surprised that no one mentioned it, maybe one person or two on YouTube, that a Pentax Clubhouse exists in Tokyo, and I'm like, mind blown. I don't know if that's gonna get some kind of like retaliation, but long story short, it happened in my Instagram feed that someone was actually sort of like posting photos of Pentax Clubhouse. And because you guys probably know, I do not shoot with a Pentax camera, I did not think much. However, when I was like scrolling through and doing my research, it came abrupt to me that it would be nice to sort of like mention it on my YouTube channel and to deliver contents for you guys, because no one has made valuable, I guess, and efficient kind of way of presenting this to you guys. So I basically allocated one day and just visited Pentax Clubhouse, which is located in downtown Tokyo in Yotsuya. And doing my research, I sort of like came to the sort of like conclusion that Pentax Clubhouse is, how should I say, more like an area for Pentax enthusiasts and users and people who are in that photography community to sort of like meet up and sort of like connect with the person who actually works at the Pentax, and can basically talk with a representative about products, and at the same time you can basically take in your camera for services and repairs, etc., etc. And also you can sort of like borrow products and test them out within the sort of like club space, and at the same time you can chill and relax and just gaze at the sort of like Pentax origins within this clubhouse. So FYI, before just going there, I have to explain how to get there in the first place. Like I said, Pentax Clubhouse is located near Yotsuya Station. And for your information, Yotsuya Station, there's like 3 train lines that basically passes by or stops by, which is the JR line, the largest one in Japan. The Marunouchi line, which is a subway, is the red color train, and the Namboku line, which is green actually. So you can basically take either any of those like trains, and you can basically get off, and it's roughly a 10-minute walk away from Yotsuya Station. And in addition to that, for more information actually, Yotsuya Station is actually one station away from Akihabara Station, meaning that you can basically do your shopping at Akihabara or beforehand or after, and then you can basically hop on to the JR line, and one stop away you can visit the Pentax Clubhouse. So I made sort of like a guide for you guys. I'm actually thinking of making a sort of like a film camera guide, 1 day or maybe 2 day or 3 day itinerary, because there might be people who are interested in that. I'm going a little bit off topic, but going back onto topic, I'll stick in the hours of operations right here from 11 o'clock to 18 o'clock. So that's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. On weekdays, they are they ha- they are open. However, on Wednesdays and Sundays they are actually closed, and also holidays included, they are closed. Looking at the Japan's calendar, so please check before going there. It's sort of like in this sort of like bunker style sort of like building, and within the clubhouse there's an area where you can basically drop off your lenses to get it serviced and repairs, and also an area, a lens bar, where you can basically borrow lenses and cameras if you're thinking of like purchasing that. But obviously it's sort of like an area dedicated for those types of means. And also they have like a lot of like cameras to test out, so you can also try and see if it matches your taste. And also I have to mention that when you enter the shop itself, on the right hand corner there is actually a Pentax 17 that is on this 360 degrees rotating table, like surrounded by an acrylic box, and all within that box there's HP5, and I see multiple. So hope I didn't get the reference wrong, but it is a rare sight to see actually, and in this sort of like enclosure. HP5 and a Pentax 17. What happened? Kinda. So I was at the Pentax Clubhouse. There was actually an engineer who was there, who I was able to like talk to him directly, and basically sort of like explain to me every single all of the aspects of the cameras, how to like operate, specifically the zone focusing. I'm not used to doing that, and also like the various LED indicators that help you sort of like move forward if you forgot to wind the cameras and stuff like that. And obviously there's a lot of YouTubers who already made a how-to video on how to shoot with a Pentax 17, so I won't go into details on that topic because I do not own it. However, it was a great sort of like experience being able to test that camera out within the store, and also having someone who actually worked in this project of like providing and giving me this like great opportunity to use this fantastic camera. Sort of like going back to the lens bar, on the sort of like front side of the lens bar itself, there's a bunch of like what you call photography books. And what's great about this like Pentax Clubhouse is that there's a bunch of like places to sit. So meaning that you can basically grab a photo book or an art book and you can just sit and just read patiently or quietly, sort of like a library actually. And this is something that was unique in its from what I see, because right now Fujifilm's Roppongi's sort of like salon, or I don't know what you would call, there's actually no place for the Fujifilm side to sit actually, unfortunately. So this is actually a great sort of like way to sort of like being in a sort of like a chill environment, and also connecting with people who actually work there. So it was a great experience, like being there, being encompassed with great photography. And also, I forgot to mention that they do have a gallery on the far end. So and this time around, I think Iwakura Shori's son was actually doing her sort of like gallery on using the Pentax 17 to showcase the great potentials of this camera. And while I was like sort of like talking with the engineers who like crafted the Pentax 17, it was actually great to see sort of like the origins popping up within this camera, because I'm not a Pentax user, but I've seen a lot of people shoot with a Pentax 6.7, and it shares a lot of origins of the predecessors, like the logo itself. You guys probably know the 1.7 is the exact same logo as a Pentax 6.7. The winding knob is from I forgot the name of the camera, unfortunately, sorry guys, but it is the exact same. And also the logo, the Asahi Pentax logo, is there. And also the what I call the top plate and the bottom plate is fully metallic. The mid part is like I guess durable like plastic, and it like shares the what you call the characteristics of a lot of cameras that Pentax have made in the past, which is being sort of like pass on to the newer generations. And at the same time, when I was basically talking with sort of like the engineers, he was basically talking about the optics of this camera. And not many people know that half frame cameras that were like produced prior to the Pentax 17, I've used the Kodak M35, so I can vouch that the lens itself never got that many R&D, research and development, the funds to make, because the majority of the money went into making like 35mm film format. However, for half frame this time around, when the Pentax released the Pentax 17, they basically actually researched the lens to make it much more efficient and much more, how should I say, less like resolutionary, if I'm right. Is that the word? Like, because like a lot of like predecessors half frame cameras did not have the great optics to give like enough resolutions. Pentax themselves, because they do have the know-how to like create great lenses, they were able to incorporate some of their like techniques within the Pentax 17. And that's actually one of the reasons why the resolutions of the images that you are getting from the Pentax 17 is far better than a typical half frame camera. And they basically had a sample like booklet where it showcased the full potentials of this camera being used. So obviously the what I call the halations is really concentrated. There's not that much ghosting and flares that I've experienced shooting with the Kodak M35. I think I talk too much, but I'm not stopping here, unfortunately, because there's so much to talk about. There's also sort of like a area where you can basically purchase film stocks actually. So if you're running out of film stocks, you can purchase 35mm and also 120mm if you need it in a pinch. So this is actually a great location. And also they were selling various accessories for the Pentax fanboys. They had t-shirts, they had a cap, a hat, they had pin badges, they had leather straps, and also more to come, etc., etc. And they were also like posting the sort of like the contact sheet of the HP5 film negatives, so that was also great to see. So yeah, after like visiting at the Pentax Clubhouse, I'm kind of really jealous because I'm a Fujifilm user, and Fujifilm, if you, like I said, if you go to the Roppongi Fujifilm Square, it's there's like this sort of like there's like no connections with someone who like really works in that company, and there's it's just a gallery, it's just a show window, just camera being displayed, and that's it. But the Pentax Clubhouse, it felt like home. There's a place to sit, comfy chairs, lots of art books. You can basically encompass yourself in this sort of like environment. And if you are a lover of both film and digital, and if you're a Pentax user, this is like seventh heaven to me actually. So yeah, and it was actually a pleasure meeting with various representatives who work in the great company, explaining to me the ins and outs of Pentax because I never used a Pentax camera, and it kind of gives a sense of communications with the sort of like photography like community, and I thought this would be beneficial for a lot of my viewers and also my subscribers because no one made a video. So hopefully I made some kind of dedication within this video. And yeah, if you are ever in Tokyo, if you're ever traveling, 100% of the time, you guys are gonna go to Akihabara, no doubt about it. So it's just one station away, and if it's open, I highly suggest visiting them. And yeah, I think I talked too much. My jaws are hurting. But yeah, thank you very much for giving me this valuable opportunity. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. We will see you next time. Peace out. I realized that my photo t-shirt wasn't displayed, so yeah.